Am I the a-hole for snapping at my husband for repeatedly bringing up breast surgery? I, 27 female, have been married to my husband, 34 male, for over a year. We've been together for 6 years. He's a gym freak, which I don't have a problem with, except for when he sometimes tries to impose his routine on me, pressure me into adopting his dietary habits. I exercise too. I'm 5'6" and 130 pounds, but I enjoy my food and nothing will change that. That's not what I'm posting about, though. Lately, I can't wear a dress without him telling me I look good, but that I would have looked better if I had that breast augmentation surgery. He never complained about my breasts for 6 years until the past 5 months. I've told him before that I'm not against it, but not planning to get one. It took me years to regain my confidence because my mother used to make hurtful remarks about my chest, like if it's something I didn't achieve. A few days ago, we were intimate, and he didn't hesitate to remind me again that I would look 10 times better with the implants, which turned me off instantly. I don't remember what I exactly said, but I said something along the lines of, "I know how it feels." Never mind, you're the perfect size. The big ones hurt anyway. He got mad and called me immature and all. Mind you, he's been pressuring me to have the surgery for 4 months now, and I never snapped at him. Edit, I'm an A cup. Yesterday, we were getting ready to go to his friend's wedding, but I ended up staying home. He brought up the surgery again, and I snapped at him. I reminded him that we dated for 5 years before we got married. He had plenty of time to realize that I'm not good enough for him and break up with me to find a woman who has what he's looking for. I do have eyes. He's right, I'm flat-chested, but I have a nice body overall. He said he loves me and wants to be with me, but feels he could be more attracted to me with bigger breasts. I ended up telling him to go alone. I can't shake off the feeling that our recent arguments are taking us down a toxic path. It's not the kind of relationship I want for us. Is this worth considering divorce over? Other than this, we do get along very well, but I feel like he's taking me back to the days when I would stand in front of the mirror for minutes thinking I would never find a man who would like me if I myself don't like what I'm seeing. Edit, for the weirdos asking/going to for pics to see if they're a handful or not. I'm asking if his behavior is acceptable or not. Not if I'm really flat-chested. I am. I don't need to send any pics for you to judge. Relevant comments. He tells you quite regularly that he finds you lacking. He even goes as far as to bring this up during your intimate moments. This is not the actions of a respectful, loving spouse. You are well within your rights to make a mean comment to him. Funny how people who regularly dish out cruelty are the ones least able to take it. If you agree to the breast augmentation, I would willingly bet a large sum of money there will be something else that he will want you to fix. You having bigger breasts won't fix whatever his issue is. Exactly. It's the grass is greener syndrome. They want what they can't have. I've had dudes tell me they usually prefer blondes and ask if I would dye my hair blonde. No. Go find an effing blonde. Or a woman who already loves dyeing her hair. Jesus, what is it with these people? I also want to point out that if you have augmentation surgery, it's very likely that he will then think he can ask for other things. Possibly even use this surgery as a reason to do them. Yeah, but you did your breast augmentation and it was fine. Trust me, do this. People who don't respect boundaries will continue to push the second you show them they can. Whatever happens, don't do the surgery. Your husband shouldn't be nagging you to undergo an elective surgery for only his benefit. He's being immensely disrespectful, which is too nice of a description. But anyway, be proud of your body. Don't allow his behavior to affect your self-esteem. Does he know you might consider divorce over this issue? Tell him and base your decision upon his reaction. Not the a-hole. No, he doesn't know yet. I'm planning to sit him down tomorrow and talk about it. Whenever I try to talk about it, he tries and changes the subject. Update. I had no intention of mentioning divorce, not until I get some answers that could help with my decision. I was hoping we would end up agreeing on counseling or something. I just wanted an honest conversation to know if there was a way to fill that void for him without ever getting the surgery. I sat him down last night, and just like usual, he tried to change the subject. I made it clear to him that it's either we talk about it now or he never, ever brings breast surgery up again. Well, that did it for him. I asked him why he suddenly, after 6 years together, want me to get one. He wouldn't give me a straight answer. I told him if I'm to consider having one, he needs to be honest with me about what changed in the past few months. He grabbed his phone and showed me some women's pictures on his phone. And let me tell you, they weren't Instagram models. They were 100% OnlyFans models. He showed me more than 5 pictures with no shame or the slightest consideration of my feelings. With each pic, he said things like, "See, you would look 10 times hotter. She's not even as gorgeous as you are," but I asked him if I decide to never get the surgery, would he ever drop the idea? Like, can we move past it? He said it's something he can't stop thinking about because he really feels like he would be more attracted to me and that I myself would feel more confident with the boob job. I do have eyes, and just like I know how small my chest is, I know that I have a nice body figure. People see, people compliment, so they can't all be liars. I asked what he ever liked about me in general because from the pictures he showed me, I didn't see any woman that resembled me even a bit. He said that I'm gorgeous and have a killer smile, and he likes my curvy hips. I asked if there's anything else he likes about me in general. I was hoping he would mention something other than my body or anything, and all he said was, "Your lips." I told him since I'm considering breast augmentation surgery, is there anything else he thinks I could fix so he feels more attracted to me while we're at it? I hoped that he would at least say, other than my boobs, he loves everything about me. He said, "You're good." From the grammatical errors, you could tell I'm not a native English speaker. I'm Brazilian. I told him I will think about it and said goodnight because I didn't want to give him the satisfaction of seeing my tears. I don't know if I'm just naturally stupid and never paid attention to the red flags, or he just decided to show me his true colors now that we're married. By the way, since some asked. Yes, he does know about my history with my mother. Every woman in my family is a C cup and up, including my younger sister. I'm the only one with A cup. He initiated intimacy later, and I told him there's a lot on my mind right now. He didn't even argue, and after like 5 minutes said, "I will pay for it." Don't you worry about that. When we met, he was around 230 pounds. He's 5'8", and never went to the gym before. He's 190 pounds now. I'm mentioning this because some said I hooked up with him for his looks, physique. Physique wasn't on the table back then, but it never would matter to me as long as the person in front of me cares about me for who I am. I myself not perfect. Anyway, he was so insecure about his looks, and I never ever said a thing about it. I used still voice how I love this and that about him. I boosted his ego just for him to decide that he would be more attracted to me if I get a boob job after 6 years together. And for those saying I'm lazy for not going to the gym with him and that he wants what's best for me, I said I do exercise. Yes, I'm an A cup, and I know it's not for everyone, and I respect that. But I'm freaking gorgeous. My mother, him, or anyone else won't change that. I'm a babe, deal with it. He himself used to mention how I get looks all the time when we're out. I felt hurt and cried because it hurts to not feel desired by the person you love the most and want to be desired by. Other than that, I'm perfectly happy with my body. And if I ever decide to get the boob job, I will get it for me, not for someone who finishes in 2 minutes and can't even hit the spot. I need time to make a plan before I start the process. When everything is ready and I have a place lined up, I will serve him the papers. By the way, I will initiate intimacy tonight and every night until the day I serve him. Edit, I get it now it's a bad idea, but I will go with it for tonight at least. I bought a dildo today, thrice his size, and I'm using it right after he finishes. If he goes low, I'm going lower until I have an exit plan ready. Thank you to each and every one who took the time to read my post and share their support and advice. Your words have really made a difference for me. Thanks to the men who offered their perspectives and advice. Your honesty has been eye-opening. Edit. I never knew Reddit wasn't for such problems and that I wasn't supposed to post on this sub. I tried another sub and they asked for an account starting with Throw Aura. I can't talk about this with family and friends, especially not my mother. It's just embarrassing. The best option for me was people on the internet. Relevant comments. I used to love big boobs until I married my wife. She doesn't have perfect or big boobs, but she has a killer body and smile. I still like seeing nice boobs, but she has converted me into a peach man. I don't even care about boobs much anymore. Your husband is worse than an a-hole. Breast surgery is not a small thing like most people portray it to be. Good luck to you. Thank you. It's nice to see a man think this way because some boys comment that I should give him a chance and how he might be struggling with porn addiction, and I'm the a-hole for my reaction to him showing me OnlyFans models. Like, okay, but what about my feelings? It's been 6 years. So long to figure out what you do and don't like. I read your original post with my girlfriend, and we were curious to read an update. I'm sorry to see that your talk didn't have better results, but at least you know where you stand now. We were both amazed at the shallowness and casual hurtfulness of your husband's disparaging comments, especially in the middle of intimacy. It's difficult to understand how someone could say something so damaging to a loved one's self-esteem and in so doing sabotage the health of their own marriage. All that just so he could have a bigger set of boobs to play with. Frankly, your husband sounds like an idiot. I'm happy to hear that you're not letting it drag you down and that you recognize your own hotness. That self-confidence is really your most attractive feature. Don't lose it, but do lose the dead weight that is your husband. Good luck. Thank you. Both you and your girlfriend are so kind. Today, I effed up by making a joke about my girlfriend's hairline. So, me and my girlfriend were at Maine event together with some friends on Friday. We were waiting in line together for laser tag, taking photos, laughing, normal couple behavior. Then, I made the biggest mistake of my life. I made a joke about my girlfriend's hairline, saying it went into tomorrow. See, we make fun of each other all the time, so I thought it was fine until she said, I have trick, you know that. I, in fact, did know that, but I forgot as she only mentioned it once in the beginning of our relationship. However, it definitely was my fault for forgetting a piece of vital info about her. For those who don't know, trick is short for trichotillomania, a disorder that causes the person who has it to pull out their hair. After she reminded me she had trick, I apologized, saying, my bad, I forgot, I'm sorry. She seemed to have laughed it off and taken it lightheartedly as she then made a joke about my hairline. So I thought everything was fine. But later that afternoon, when I was at home, she texted me saying that it was bogus of me to have said that, saying that she never makes fun of my problems and how she feels like she has to contain her feelings from me. I didn't know it affected her so much, and I typed out an apology saying how I didn't mean to make her feel this way and that I felt really bad and would try to change and make sure something like this didn't happen again. I waited about 3 hours for a response, and she never replied. I make another text asking for a response. Kinda D move on my part. And she responded about 40 minutes after the second text, saying she had a 106 fever and that she was still mad about what happened. I got concerned since having such a high fever is really dangerous and said that she should be in the ER, which she was, and that I hope she didn't die. That was 3 days ago. I've been sending texts every day to check in on her and make sure she was okay, and she never responded to any of them, so I'm freaking out. Now, I don't have any social media besides Reddit and TikTok, but my sister has all of them like Snapchat and Instagram. So imagine my surprise when my sister tells me my girlfriend posted on her story an hour before I sent my check-in text. I mean, I'm glad that she didn't die, but a quick, hey, I'm not dead, but I'm still mad at you would have been nice, but I am the one in the wrong, so I'm not mad at her, because I totally get why she's ghosting me. It was my fault for making an insensitive joke about something that's affected her a lot. So now she just won't talk to me, but we're going to see each other tomorrow at school, and I know it's going to be really awkward. Relevant comments. Don't ever make jokes about someone's personal appearance. This would still have been cruel if she'd been 100% confident about her hairline up until you blindsided her by saying something was wrong with her appearance. It's even crueler knowing that she is aware of the issue and sensitive about it. Also, she texts you to say that she's sick and in ER, and your response is, I hope you don't die. You have to be the most tactless, obtuse person ever to speculate about someone dying while they are in hospital. Why were you so invested in the possibility that she might die? Hopefully she ignores you tomorrow and tells everyone what an insensitive, ghoulish buffoon you are. Next time someone you know goes into hospital, for God's sake, don't keep texting them about potential death. You should never joke about your partner in public, and especially something that could hurt their feelings. It's one thing to clown each other when you're together, but why would you embarrass her in public and tear down her confidence? I don't think you have a girlfriend anymore. My ex-boyfriend told me he didn't see the beauty in me anymore, and that he doesn't feel bad about cheating on me. Now he is stalking me. I never thought I'd be in this situation, ever. My 22 female ex-boyfriend, 22 male Chris, and I had the perfect relationship, or at least that's how I felt at the time. We were together for 5 years. He was my best friend, then high school sweetheart, planning for both proposal and marriage in the coming year or next. We had our issues, but we always communicated through them. At our worst, we'd cry, but we never ever yelled or insulted each other. We cared deeply for each other, investing real time and energy into getting to know each other's cultures, with me studying and becoming fluent in a second language. Essentially, I thought he was my endgame. We were semi-long distance, as he lived a couple hours from where I go to school. Typically, we got one weekend together per month, but we were spending time together for winter break. Sometime near the end, he started acting off. He has a very high libido, but he wasn't interested in being intimate. That's fine, it's just unlike him. Then he let me know that he felt like we were hitting a rut, that he felt we were losing our excitement. No problem. It happens in every relationship. So we make a plan to go on more dates when he's in town, play more couples, video games together, FaceTime more. Then he goes back to school. He keeps up with our plan, but is busy with athletics most nights. He asked me if it would be okay if he gets coffee with his female friend, Francesca. Sure. I asked if I could see her Instagram. He sends me a picture. She's totally his type. I tell him, hey, do whatever you want, but you're in a vulnerable spot right now, and spending time with someone who is your type might make you stray from the relationship. He agrees that what I was saying made sense and decides not to hang out with her. A few days later, I realized I was feeling neglected. I occasionally developed little crushes on friends or celebrities. Our rule in our relationship is that crushes and attraction are totally normal, but the crush in question shouldn't have any idea that you feel that way. That is, no flirting, no confessing, no cultivating closeness with these crushes, stepping away from them until it fades. This time, my crush was Shane Top. Sorry, Courtney. You get it, though. And after talking it through with my therapist, I realized I developed these crushes because I was feeling neglected in my own relationship, and they highlighted a need for attention that I wasn't getting from Chris. So, in our communicative nature, I told Chris. He broke up with me on the basis of, you're right, I have been neglecting you. We should break up. I was mind blown. This was so extremely out of left field. I put my phone down and spent the evening crying in my friend's arms, saying something like, this happens to other people, but it's not supposed to happen to me. Silly. I came back to my room at 3 a.m. and he agreed to a phone call. In the phone call, he told me he wasn't attracted to me anymore, that he thinks I'm a good person, but that he doesn't see a future with me. He said he wanted biological kids. He said he doesn't see the beauty in me anymore. He said he wanted to feel closeness and love again, but not with me. He told me he didn't even have the desire to like me again, that when he thinks of a wife, he doesn't think of me. He admitted that he did have feelings for Francesca, and they're only getting stronger. I said I understood and that I'd like to see his messages with her. He agreed. He had been flirting with her for over a month, planning dates with her, including the coffee date he told me he'd cancel. I said, so you realize you cheated, right? He said, it's weird. I don't really feel bad. I hung up on him. I realized in the coming days that he had been displaying manic symptoms. My sister, mom, multiple friends, and myself are all bipolar, so I'm familiar with what it looks like. We agreed to keep trying until his mania passes. Well, that didn't work. He just couldn't wait. He broke up with me 4 more times, the last time being in person a few days before my birthday. He was the only one I had any plans with, so that sucked. His pupils were huge. His demeanor was monotone. He truly wasn't even in there. No matter what I said, he wouldn't budge. I offered to put it all behind us, give him biological children, take a break. No. He said, "This is what I want." I said, "Okay." He left. I booked a solo trip to Japan, somewhere we had always wanted to go, but he never had the drive to make happen, so I booked it. He bounced in and out of my life thereafter, wanting to work on it, then blocking me for a few days. I have abandonment issues, so this was hard for me. We talk again as friends, then he blocks me. I'm starting to date casually again to distract myself, and I'm having some connections. Finally, I have a good one. Chris unblocks me and asks to meet up, that he wants to work on things. I tell him that I could have forgiven him for what he did when he was manic, but not for the way that, after all of that, he only considers his needs. I go no contact. It's been 2 months since we went no contact, 4 months since the breakup. Since going no contact, Chris has been posting a countdown on his Twitter to the end of the year. He's been posting cryptic and ambiguous tweets about suicide, about loving me so much that I've infected him like a disease. His Spotify has 3 12-hour playlists just dedicated to me that he frequently changes the titles of to send messages like, "Please reach out," and "I hope you're well." Chris has a stalking problem. I didn't know this when we were together. Before we were dating, he used to show up to places my ex and I were, but I thought it was a coincidence until recently when he admitted it wasn't. He had been following us. After the breakup, he admitted that he had been tracking my location and planned on showing up to bars or houses I was at to make sure I was safe. I didn't know he was like this. I posted a picture yesterday of some produce I gardened, and in the corner of the picture, you can see a hand. That's it, a hand. Chris flies off the handle, tweeting ambiguous things like, "Wow," then retweeting 4 or 5 love poems, then posting, "You really don't give yourself enough credit. I would try to explain how amazing you are, but I know you'd never believe me. Being humble is just another thing that makes you so genuine and admirable." What the heck? Before we started dating, he was like this to his exes, but that was 6 years ago. I thought he had matured. He lives 1 mile away from me. We're both home for the summer. I don't think he'd hurt me, but I do think he'd follow me if I blocked him on social media. You're going to hate me, but I was his only friend. His birthday is coming up, and I'm tempted to wish him a happy birthday. I would feel horrible if no one did. I know that's stupid. I won't do it. I'm tempted to reach out to give him closure, ask him to stop, whatever. But I'm not sure if that will just make things worse. I was with this man for 5 years. Part of me feels bad because I know this ended because of mania. Part of me feels like this side of him never would have come out if we didn't break up. That a good girlfriend would have waited this out rather than finding someone new. I don't know what to do. Relevant comments. You cannot keep setting yourself on fire to keep him warm. In other words, please prioritize your safety and mental well-being, not his. He alone is responsible for his mental well-being. It's funny, you would not believe how many times people have echoed that phrase to me in my life, way before this even happened. Reading it punched me in the gut because it made me realize I'm doing it again, setting myself on fire. That's exactly what I needed to hear. Thank you, friend. You have and continue to screw yourself over and over with this guy. Either go back to him and be miserable or cut all contact and actually move on with your life. This guy has some serious character flaws, and that's why he has no one else. It's his fault and his problem. Get some therapy for your severe people-pleasing tendencies, because this will only be damaging to you and any future partners. Leave it. As a grown man, he needs to lean on his family for some support and use the many resources available to him. Yes, it's sad. No, it's not your responsibility. So many women let their hearts win out in these situations. They usually end up isolated, mentally damaged, and alone, destroying themselves trying to fix the dude, only for him to meet another Francesca, tell you that you remind him of a time in his life where he was a pause and he needs to move on to be happy. Selfishness isn't always a bad thing. You have to be selfish in order to protect yourself. Wish him well. Tell him he has his whole life ahead of him, and if he prioritizes his mental health, it will get a lot easier when life inevitably gets a bit rough. You say, I don't know what to do. My recommendation is therapy to discover why you went back to someone over and over and over again who cheated on you, broke up with you, stalked you, threatened suicide. This is obviously not a healthy relationship, so what about it is attracting you? It's not your job to save him or fix him. Ha ha ha, unfortunately. I know exactly why I did that. I was blind in the moment, but I've received a lot of love, particularly as a child, that was conditional on my willingness to please. I'm working through it nowadays. I'm not afraid to be alone anymore. I have really wonderful friends who will love me anyway. I thank him for teaching me that I don't need anybody to love me conditionally, especially if they treat me badly. And that one was the last story of this video. If you liked it, please consider to subscribe, leave a like, and activate the notification bell to be updated for new, more videos. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.